visitor. Word travels fast, it seems. As fast as time flies. Which makes sense, given that they're both a type of bird. No doubt, you came for the Argonian known as Two Tails. I am he. As you should be. It's not every day you get to meet the first hero of the Fourth Era, and champion of Tamriel. With the Divine's blessing, I've been granted a great gift. A weapon to conquer an ancient evil that has awoken from centuries of slumber. That's why the bards sing my name, from mead halls to ship decks, in castles and colleges, and sometimes in your head. Our hero, claims over his heart. I tell you, the Dwarvenborn comes. Dragonborn? Do I look like I have wings? No, I have horns and feathers and walk on 3 feet. Just like dwarves. Besides, in war, fire is best fought with fire. And you don't bring a dragon to a dwarf fight, not unless it's Dwarvenborn. Nothing else can combat the infinite armies of Mazanok, the God Eater. Your worst enemy and your best friend, as you are nothing but a dog to him. And like a good doggy, he's going to make you fetch dirt, then bring it to the surface while his army of centurions flog you with brass whips. Mazanok aims to devour the gods, at least the ones that live underground, and in doing so, propel our world into chaos. But as it is written in the Histbark, and inscribed in the assortment of spoons I keep in my pocket, all is not lost. For there is one that even the mad dwarf and his legion of machines fear. In their tongue, I am known as Thuammerdzin, Dwarvenborn. As Dwarvenborn, I possess what is known as the Machine Hand. Simply by placing my palms on a device, I can disable it permanently. I am now on a great quest to place my hands upon as many dwarven machinations as possible, so that I may render the God Eater's army inert. It doesn't matter if it's a broken spider or fully operational centurion. One touch from my machine hand, and no smith can repair it. Oh, it may be your servant now, but when Mazanok sounds the clarion call through his steam horn, all of Tamriel will be overrun by spider hordes. Spiders you repaired because you thought they would make nice pets. I I was fishing near the coast of Niben Bay in Cyrodiil when I saw a bearded mage standing by the bank. In his hand was the ugliest fishing staff I had ever seen, but when he raised it to the sky, a massive island rose right out of the water. On it were rocks, chiseled into the shape of dwarven heads, only they weren't rocks, but cheese. Then, waving the staff around some more, he conjured 3 beggars to eat away at the cheese rocks, from its mustache down to its chin. Their efforts revealed a secret portal, a gateway to the Dwemer homeworld. Curious, I followed him into the bay. I swam, he walked. I trailed him to the edge of the shoreline, just as he was about to enter the portal. Then he stopped and turned in my direction. I was hiding behind some brush, but I could have sworn he winked at me. Turns out there was just something in his eye. Specifically the arrow that I shot in his face for winking at me. It was my fishing bow. How else are you supposed to catch slaughterfish without a proper bow? Or staff for that matter? Now I had both. In fact, I could have used the staff to catch twice as many fish if I were a fisherman and not the one true savior of Skyrim. But first, I needed to step through that portal, which I had no problem doing. I didn't kill a man and 3 beggars to catch more salmon. It's the only place that's completely safe. Mazanok has his spiders everywhere, hiding in the dirt like 8-legged mud crabs. They're out there right now, burrowed in the mud, not 40 paces from where we stand, using the grass and the weeds like an insect's antenna. Only these antennae aren't like the kind you find on a bug. No, attached at the end are magical listening spheres, painted white to look like flowers. Cut in balls, fungal pods, tulips. His eyes and ears are everywhere, searching for the one they call Dwarvenborn. Conversely, there isn't a section of wall or piece of dwarven metal that I haven't blessed with my machine hand. It's completely quarantined. They say he was a gifted dwarf, blessed with the ability to craft, repair, and if need be, marry machines, simply by touching them. Some even say he learned the way of the voice, that he could direct his spiders to sweep the floors by issuing a simple 3-word command. Something like, broom floor sweep, or beep boop bop, or insert tube here. You know, common phrases of the machine tongue. Then, one day, while renovating an old cave, he came across a magic scroll written inside a tube of fungus. Inside was a 100,000-year-old prophecy, one that foretold what already happened 75,000 years ago, at the dawn of time. It told of the age of the soup people, who flowed through the underground rivers of Nern like a creamy magma, and were extremely delicious. It warned of a day in the distant past when the soup would turn cold, so cold it congealed. These jelly blobs and their scabs would be what they've become. The early beginnings of man and beast. The same way a beast of the wild attracts a mate. Musk, smell, aroma. The kind that will drive mortals to action. Not all of those actions are necessarily good. Some of them are great, and some are pretty much perfect. I'm that some. Only what the gods foretold. They say Mazanok will come from the west, charging down a mountain, led by an avalanche of metal boulders, spheres. Behind them will be the mad dwarf himself, riding in a steam-powered war carriage, pulled along by dwarven mammoths. They say when Mazanok makes his charge, the ore veins across Skyrim will melt, and the rivers will run bright with metal. Only the Dwarvenborn possesses the power to stop him. From here in the Eyrie, I can watch for his descent, as well as create a strategic barrier to protect myself from his spies. As the Khajiit say, may your sand lead to road worms or something.
Of all the Imperials I met, you are the nicest.
Hello. Something on your mind? Goodbye. How can I help you? Something on your mind?
Come on in. The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms. Forsworn rampaging through the streets, as if business wasn't slow enough. Ah, yes. Here, take a look at this. Remember, ale is cheap. Than blood in Markarth.
Unlike my husband Clapper, I watch after our guests.
What was that you said, Venom? Wife of mine?
Nothing.
Make it quick.
Is that an amulet of Mara? I'm surprised someone like you isn't
An
spoken
amulet
for.
of Mara? You're not married? Surprising. Right. See you round.
Oh no, you don't. Aren't you?
You're as good as dead.
I think my mindfulness has improved since I met you. Don't you think so too? You think you can beat me? Go ahead. You leave her alone. Don't you even try that.
Think you can take me?
I find... Oh. Strange.
My sword! Ah, found you!
I'm not afraid of you.
Don't you even try that.
How deep do you think this gorge is? 50 feet? 100? Well, it'll only be half as deep as our pockets when we find the artifact. That's right, I said we. My bodyguard just took a long way to Sophengar down Icarus' stomach. You're going to be his replacement. Excellent, but remember our arrangement calls for guarding this body. I will be responsible for keeping it beautiful. I trust you can handle yourself in a fight? Keep the lower jaw jutted forward if the answer is yes. Good. I'm alive, aren't I? Of course, that's due in part to my chief survivor skill, the hiring of personal bodyguards. The payment will come when the artifact is secured. It also guarantees you won't be spending your advance at the tavern. They must be removed, of course, if we want to explore these grounds. I will do my best to stay out of your way. Do you see the color of my robes? Of course you don't. They're camouflaged in the dark. So watch where you strike. What an odd thing to ask. That is, if you were my last bodyguard, I clearly explained to him what the artifact is. If he didn't like spending his winters in the void, I wouldn't have to repeat myself. This time, I will wait until we find it. Blink once if you understand, twice if you're confused, no times if there's cobwebs in my hair. Excellent. What is it? Did you find something? What an oblivion! I sincerely hope that you have turned back before reaching this letter, as it would represent a new low in explorer incompetence. Incompetence? We'll show that girl incompetence. Furrow your brow if you agree. Good. Yes, the irony is, if the girl used half of her ingenuity toward exploration as opposed to these tricks, she would have found the lexicon already. Yes, a teleportation device used by the Dunmer in ancient times to travel between their strongholds. In order to activate them, a cone-shaped object called an index is required. Are you following me so far? Give me a sign if you aren't. Wonderful. These indices are enchanted to form a link between a circle of chambers, allowing you to transport across great distances. Now, considering how advanced it was, there's an alternate theory that proposes some of this technology was borrowed from the Dwemer. Some even say it explains the disappearance of the entire Dwemer race. I should know. I'm the one who proposed that theory. Machines of such importance are typically safeguarded with a tonal lock, and that requires an attunement sphere. Cameron has stayed a step ahead of us thus far, mostly with the help of that new bodyguard of hers, but if we get the lexicon, she'll be forced to bargain. In ancient times, the Charmer and Dwemer united against a common enemy to form the Kingdom of Resdain. The two races couldn't be more different, but when two siblings live under the same house, they can't help but influence each other. I had heard a lecture in Winterhold on how the Dwemer used charged soul gems to animate machines and harness the power of the gods. It also led to the circumstances of their disappearance, when they were seemingly teleported to an unknown place. It occurred to me that crystals were also used by the Charmer's descendants to charge the Propylon chambers, and thus a theory was born, roughly around the same time our Redguard friend was learning how to crawl. Yes, while the Dhamma used enchanted indices, the Dwemer typically store all relevant data into a single lexicon. Given we are searching for a Dwemer machine and not a Dhamma one, I would venture your guess is correct, but I make no assumption. It's common sense. If you build a temple, you will draw the devout. If you make a key, it will find its way to the right door. The artifacts are here because the chamber is here. The presence of one proves the existence of the other. Anyhow, it's not your concern. I know you're smart, but for this task you need to think like you're 2 carats short of a potage. We'll have to work on the assumption that the Red Guard obtained the attunement sphere. Luckily, we have one advantage. This key. I don't know if it unlocks the door or chest, but it will undoubtedly lead you to the lexicon. I will head to Mazinchalav to meet Cameron while you retrieve it. Afterward, you'll rendezvous with us at the nearby settlement of Stonehills. Here are my notes on the lexicon, but don't worry, you won't need to solve any puzzles. Just explore the ruins like you did this cave, ferociously. I trust you know how to proceed? Scratch your nose if you agree. No, scratch that. The idea, not the nose. Just nod if you're confused. Good. Are we clear on what needs to be done? Of course we are, or else I wouldn't have hired you. Now go. We're competitors in the exploration game. Fierce ones at that. We'd probably get along if it didn't go against our best interests. I'm not sure what the current tally is, but it doesn't matter anymore. This discovery will top all our previous history.
It is a satisfactory day, don't you agree? It is a satisfactory day, don't you agree? Databanks corrupted. Memory retrieval malfunction. Archive not found. My databanks are partially corrupted, so my knowledge of history is spotty at best. Still, I am willing to recount what I can. The Dwemer are an extinct race of mer hailing from Dwemerith, the region more commonly known now as Morrowind. Dwemer translates to deep or secret of people. Dwarves is also occasionally used, though their stature was no different from other races. The Dwemer lived in elaborate underground cities with deep tunnels across large parts of Tamriel, but particularly in Morrowind. They disappeared quite suddenly in the War of the First Council, after Lord Kagranak, master architect of the Dwemer, made a mistake. It is thought that his manipulation of the heart of Lorkhan led to the sudden disappearance of the Dwemer, leaving animunculi like myself behind. A single dwarf remained alive until about 2 centuries ago, though it is unknown whether or not he remains so today. He was infected with the Corpus disease, and was thus effectively immortal, though the disease severely deformed his physical shell. Perhaps one day I will speak with him on lost days. It was good to see you, Master.
Just as I predicted you would. I told Scotty only true ignorant would come to Mizinshalaft after I made it clear it was another ruse.
I've been looking
If
for
you
you.
do serve a
Got something I'm
purpose,
supposed to deliver.
when we
Your
reintroduce
hands
ourselves
only.
to the Dwemer, they will wonder why it took so long for us to find them.
Looks like that's it. Got to go.
And I need only point them to Exhibit A, the lump of orichalcum you call brain. Ha! You're one to talk, Cameron. If it weren't for that bodyguard of yours, you wouldn't last 2 seconds in a Dwemer room. Well, I'll have you know I've hired someone just as capable. You mean Falcus? That fool isn't fit enough to fetch Scotty's slippers. No, Falcus is dead, as are all his predecessors. My new bodyguard, however, is alive and well and has a presence for both of us. Have you done as I asked? Good. Naturally, even the Propylon chambers have their limits. They will still need roads and bridges to deliver their goods. But that's not for you to worry your pretty little head over. Hand me the artifact, and we'll let the Red Guard's reaction tell us if it's real. So, Cameron, it appears it's my time to gloat. But I'm going to refrain. After all, you still have the sphere. This game ends in a draw. At this point, I don't mind sharing the credit. This is bigger than both of us. No, this is my discovery. I don't need your fake lexicon. I already found the real one, in some ruin you haven't heard of. Is that your attempt at a bluff? Do you think I would just toss the lexicon away? Your lips and your eyes are having a disagreement, and it's clear which one is telling the truth. We'll see who's bluffing when I take both the lexicon and the sphere to Aftan. Come, Scotty, we have Dwemer to find. Well, I'm afraid that's as close to a concession as we're going to get. It's no coincidence the chamber is in Alftand. And like it or not, the Red Guard needs us. In fact, she doesn't like it at all. That's what makes it all the more sweeter. I haven't ruled it out, although the most likely scenario is her unleashing the bodyguard affairs upon us. As a result, we should do our best not to provoke them. Let me do the talking. A confrontation will not end well with one so capable by her side. I'm glad it wasn't just me. I hope Cameron didn't notice the bubbles of sweat pouring down my fingers. But we can't worry about that. Hopefully we'll be able to solve this dilemma without violence. You lead the way. Alftan is just a few days' journey east. It's better if we let Cameron get there first. so she can mull over her choices, or lack thereof. It's not something I do willingly. I want this discovery just as bad as anyone. Of course, there's one outcome worse than having the Red Guard find the Dwemer first, and that's if neither of us do. While you were retrieving the item, I realized that the return of the Dwemer takes precedence over any squabble between myself and the Red Guard. I think it was rather big of me to put my own interests aside, don't you? Blink once if you agree, twice if you really agree, and 3 times if I have food in my teeth. Good.
You don't scare me. You will be so dead. Don't try that.
Couldn't have done that
Well,
without...
You see now what your stubbornness has wrought. You could have gotten yourself killed.
Huh?
Scotty would have killed them all had your bodyguard not intervened. That's beside the point. You still need the lexicon to work the chamber. Isn't it time we end this?
These ruins are simply
I don't need your help.
amazing.
I'm tired of
Very
our colleagues saying
dangerous.
I rode your coattails.
Shall we go inside?
And I tire of people saying I would have never gotten anywhere without your assistance. But you know what? Your people and my people, they're both right. Whether it's as rivals or colleagues, we are where we are because of each other. And while others may argue over who gets the credit, there's no denying that this discovery belongs to both of us.
Maybe you're right. I suppose it would be just as unsavory to steal the lexicon as it would be to share the credit. Fine, we can work together, but on one condition. I want to be the first one to use the chamber. It's only fair, given I found it.
Yes, yes,
Dwemer
of course.
ruins are
Here, take the
very
lexicon.
impressive.
For once, I don't mind following your
Very
act.
dangerous too. Oh.
Alright, we're almost there. Just have your guard pull the lever opposite from me.
Go ahead, pull the lever.
By Julianos, look at this place. Scotty, take the sphere and the lexicon and place it in the machine. This is it. We've done it. After all this time, thousands of years, we're going to make contact with the Dwemer. Us!
It's an amazing day, Cameron. I know we've had our differences, but for now, they all seem so insignificant.
You're right.
Our
And you know
hero,
what? It was
our
selfish
hero,
of me to want this moment for
flames
myself.
over hell's
I want you to stand here
heart.
with me. You mean it? This isn't one of your tricks, is it? No, not at all.
I tell
want
you,
us to
I
share this
tell
together.
you,
I'm
the
sure there's room on
dwarven
this
born
platform for the two of
comes.
us.
No one is going anywhere.
Scotty, stop fooling around. Hurry up and place the lexicon into the device.
No. I am not yours to command. Nor will you fool these people any longer, servant of Mazanok.
Scotty, what in oblivion are you talking about?
Scotty. There is no Scotty. He was a figment of my imagination. Until I made him a reality of yours. No. You speak to the first hero of the Fourth Era. Champion of Mundus. Two Tails. The Dwarvenborn.
Dwarvenborn? What nonsense is this?
Don't play coy with me, servant of the God Eater. I know as well as you that this teleportation device was designed specifically to bring Mazanok's generals into Skyrim. Raldbethar, Mazenkalift, and Ulfdand. They are not places, but names. The names of the three machine heralds of the apocalypse. But I have disabled your device with my machine hand. Watch as I press this button, and nothing happens.
Cameron, stop that fool before he breaks something.
What have you done? The button seems stuck.
Not stuck. Deactivated. Permanently disabled by my machine hand. As will all the devices in this temple of evil. All that's left is to deactivate you.
I'm gonna chase you back to the forest you came from.
I had a feeling it would be you. At the tower, there was something about your knobby left thumb that reminded me of the egg I was hatched from. It marked you as my vassal, for just as there must be a Dwarvenborn, there also must be one to open his doors and pull the occasional lever. And at times, when Mazanok in his cowardice uses his meat slaves to counter the Dwarvenborn's machine hand, you must fight alongside the champion. And with your actions today, you have helped me land a great blow to the God Eater. You have truly earned the title, Servant Maid. Because some people are born servants, others are made, sometimes by force, but usually by crippling poverty. But sometimes, a servant is made by the divines to help the one true hero fight off the mechanical forces of evil. This is one of those times. I'm Dwarvenborn, aren't I? You're one of those pedantic types. Can't stand it if a lizard ain't drank no speechcraft potion before he opens his mouth. Well, you speech Thalmor can suck on the business end of my tail. Both the gold and purple dwarves anointed me dwarven pawn, so that's who I am. Isn't it obvious? I ate them. Yes, Rold Bethar, half dwarf, half machine, 3/4 insane. He has crossbows for feet, and when he walks, they fire. Then there's Mazen Khalif, a master strategist who thinks only in numbers, and Mazenok's most trusted advisor. As he long ago abandoned his body, he now takes the form of a giant head on a stick, carried around by a centurion slave. Then there is this temple's namesake, Halfdan. Little is known about him, but there are rumors that Mazenok blessed him with a meat hand. Not purple and gold. Purple and gold. Two separate factions. The gold dwarves are the rich ones, on account of all the gold they wear. The purple ones are the smart ones. They paint their gold purple, so no one will steal it. Both of them don't take kindly to men, except the purple ones are less unkind. Only thing they hate more is each other. They remind me of the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, hacking away at each other while the real threat grows strong. People blame Ulfric, call him power-hungry and arrogant. Looks to me like we got two Ulfrics in Skyrim. Only one of them calls himself Elisif. Same with the dwarves. One of their own, the God Eater himself, was on the loose, and they were just too busy griping to care. Luckily, a chamberlain by the name of Haskell led me down a yellow road where I was granted an audience with a steam mammoth. The mammoth told of how it betrayed Mazenok and how his former master sought the nature of the divines so that he could know how to eat them. Not with a fork, apparently, as that was my first guess. Turns out the gods are a soup-based life form. It did, but not before having me undergo 3 tests in 3 nights to see if my machine hand was true. The first test was simple. Touch the traces of a dwarven sphere and return it to its shell. That's when I first learned the nature of my power. Through my pawn, I could channel into the matrix of gears and wires and shatter the soul crackers that powered them. The second test came with a twist. I was asked to repair an orrery so I could learn to touch devices without damaging the mechanism. I managed to suppress my power as I connected the cylinders, cogs, and cohers to their respective wheelers, which were powered by rodents. The third and final test was to don the armor of the Animunculi. For legend stated, only a true hero could claim it. The armor was encased in columns of gold and purple light. Two dwarves stood guard before it, but opened the path to reveal my prize. When I put it on, a chant began to swell, one that would echo across the isles. For I was dwarven born. Yes, it's as useless as a wet tunic against steel or iron, but it's impervious to attacks from machines. It's also immune to the call of Mazanuk's voice, as well as his machine magic, despite being comprised of dwarven metal. Truly an armor designed for a purpose, and fit for a champion. I had a feeling it would be. It marked, and at time. And with your actions today, you have helped me land a great blow to the Guard Eater.
Huh?
You have truly earned the title, Servant Maid. Something on your mind? I will return to Reachwind Eyrie, to stand watch as I always have, and await the day of reckoning. As for you, I wish to reward you for your services. Here, take this spoon I disabled. The dwarves use spoons like this to consume deities, or if need be, jump into the throats of their enemies. Keep it as a reminder that Mazanuk's appetite is insatiable, and that our work is far from over.